I do something and I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your big homie, the armchair operator, and today we are going to talk about this beautiful specimen right here, the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10mm Performance Center. So last year, Smith & Wesson released their 10mm version of their M&P 2.0 line, and it was introduced with two different barrel lengths. It came out with a 4-inch barrel and a 4.5-inch barrel length. Now, fast forward to a few months ago, this year in 2023, Smith & Wesson launched their Performance Center version of the 10mm with the 5.6-inch barrel. And ever since I saw it, I had my eye on it, but I didn't really make a move on it because I had other things that I needed to do. So when it popped up at my local FFL for a really good price, I had to pick it up. Speaking of, shout out to, once again, Bunker 2 Gun Shop for coming through, for providing the firearm for this review. Bunker Gun Shop got 2 locations serving the greater Philadelphia area, and they have lots of great inventory to choose from, both new and used, and they got new stock coming in all the time. So I highly recommend y'all check it out. I'm gonna leave their contact information down in the details section of this video so you can go over there and check it out. But anyway, back to the 10mm. So I saw this gun, I went and I picked it up, and I have a few things I want to say about it right now. So this is just going to be an initial first shots video, a first impressions video, whatever the case may be. So I'm just going to touch on the specs really quickly, show you what it comes with out of the box. I'm just going to hit on some key bullet points, and I'm just going to talk about a little bit of my first shots experience, and then I'm just going to finish it out. All right, y'all, so with that being said, let's dive into this first shots video. Okay, y'all, here we go. The Smith & Wesson M2.0 10mm Performance Center. It's a beauty, ain't it? All right, so let's start from the top. So it's a Performance Center model. So as you can see, Performance Center models of Smith & Wesson typically come in this nice hard case. Smith & Wesson Performance Center, as you can see. So we get in here, and now we have the gun itself. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a quick clear check. As you can see, the chamber is empty, the magazine is empty, and the gun is clear. So right off the hop, the gun comes with 2 magazines. This gun did come with 2 magazines. I have the other magazine tucked away in my safe because I have it ready to go. And as what's standard policy for me, I don't bring any live ammo to my review space. So this is why you only seen the 1 magazine, but it does come with 2. Comes with 2 15-round magazines, really good quality, 10mm, and you can tell by the yellow follower. If you didn't know, Smith & Wesson's followers are color-coded. Red is 9mm, yellow is 10mm. I'm not sure what the 45 is. I want to say is black, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But just know that they are color-coded. If I had a Smith & Wesson M&P M2.0 in 45, I could tell you straight out. But anyway, let's go on from there. So, talking about accessories. So, you got the 2 mags, and of course, as customary with all Smith & Wesson M&Ps, especially the 2.0 series, we have interchangeable back straps. So this gun comes with 4 interchangeable back straps. You have the small, as denoted here on the inside written. We have small, we have medium right here. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. We have the medium large, as I don't know if you can see that, but that's medium large. And the large one is on the gun itself. Now, when you first pick this gun up, the medium backstrap is going to be installed by default. First thing I did is I put the large backstrap on because that fits my hands the best. Now to do that, it's really simple. There's a tool here that you just turn it to the side and you remove it. And you got this little handy tool. This tool will come in handy in a bit. I'll touch on that in a little bit, but you just do that and you just pull it right off. So as you can see, that's the large back strap. And installation is the reverse of removal. Just sit that thing up in there like that. Slide the tool back into the channel sideways. I don't know if you see it, turn it sideways, and then you just turn it back to its standard position to lock it in place. And we are good to go. Some other accoutrements that this comes with, we have optics plates. So let's get this off. So that's one thing I really like about the Smith & Wesson M&P M2.0 line, is that they give you the optics plates from the rip. So we have a lot of different optics plates for your, your red dot of choice, I should say. These plates are polymer, but I believe there is one metal plate in this set, and I believe that that particular plate is for the Leupold Delta Point Pro. Yeah, these are polymer. Wait a minute. Okay, so here you go. This is the metal plate. This is the particular one, I don't know if you can see it, that goes for the Delta Point Pro. But the rest of these are polymer. So I do like the fact that Smith & Wesson gives you the optics plates. I think I already said that, but I can't stress that enough. I mean, if you can't mount a red dot onto your gun when you get it out of the box, in my opinion, it's not optics ready. It has an optic, may have an optics cut, but it's not optics ready. Anyway, moving on from there, let's talk about the features of the gun first. So as you can see, we have a longer barrel. Like I said, this is a 5.6 inch stainless steel barrel, and it has your customized, your standard melanite finish that Smith & Wesson does to all of their M&Ps, which is a really durable, corrosion resistant finish. It has a smooth feel to it. It's not rough or porous or anything like that. Now, what's special about this barrel, let's lock the slide back. I don't know if you can see, but you see those two cuts in the barrel. So this barrel is ported. And also you have two cuts in the slide. So not only do you have a longer barrel, but you have a longer ported barrel. And I can tell you from experience, it definitely does make a difference on the range when shooting a 10mm. It helps to reduce the muzzle flip. So that's really cool. Another thing I really like is that we have these raised steel 3-dot night sights from the factory. I don't know if the camera is picking that up real good there, but trying to give you an idea of the sight picture as best I can. But these are really good sights. I really like the fact that they give you raised night sights. Now, you're probably wondering why they would give you raised night sights, because obviously you're not putting a suppressor on this guy with the way it's set up now. The reason for that is once you mount your red dot, you'll have a nice lower 1/3 co-witness with your red dot. So therefore, if your red dot goes down, you could still use your irons because you have that co-witness. That's why they did that. Me personally, I would like to see that feature with more handguns. That's just my opinion. Moving on from there, of course, you have your optics cover plate. We already covered that. Loaded chamber indicator right here at the top of the slide. Really good that they have that little peephole, because some loaded chamber indicators, if they have the little button that comes up, if they have the button that comes up, it could obscure the sight picture, and that can get kind of annoying, but that's really cool. And of course, most people do press checks anyway, so you could always do that. Now, one thing I will say about that, it would have been nice to have some additional slide serrations up here. They have the space. Why they didn't do that, I'm not really sure. Granted, now you do have the what they call the high power cut. Oh, sorry, somebody's driving past with a motorcycle. Anywho, you do have a high power cut here, so you can press check it like that, but it's doable, but not ideal in my opinion. It would have been nice to have the slide serrations up here. You do have the typical fish scales in the rear of the slide, which is cool, so you can do it that way. We have our Picatinny rail underneath with 3 slots, takedown lever here, ambidextrous slide catch, slide release, and we also have an ambidextrous frame mount safety. Now, as of right now, this model is only available with the external frame mounted safety, but I would imagine that they will be releasing a model without the safety. Personally, I would prefer a model without the safety, but at the same time, after shooting this so far, this safety doesn't get in the way at all. So, you know, safety or no safety, it doesn't really matter to me. But if I had to choose one, I would go without. Anyway, now we have the upgraded trigger. So now one thing is interesting about the Performance Center trigger in this is that it feels better than the standard M 2.0 10 millimeter. It is a better trigger from all accounts. But anyway, just to go stat trigger really quick. Hopefully you guys can see that. So this is your wall. You break. And the release. That's the release. So we do it again. And the release. And there you go. It feels like it's about a 4.5 pound break, if I were to guess. Eventually, I will get a trigger gauge so that way I can measure it more accurately so I can tell y'all. But to me, it feels like it's about a 4.5 pound break. Again, that's really good, especially for a 10 millimeter. Standard trigger guard, standard magazine release, pretty standard Smith & Wesson M&P M2.0 texture here. Not super aggressive, but it's aggressive enough for me. It's really good. Some people might find it to be too aggressive, but I think it's perfect, especially when you're handling a caliber like 10 millimeter. So, but I mean, anyway, that's pretty much it for the specs and the accessories and the features that this gun comes with out of the box. So why don't y'all meet me over at the range real quick so I could give you my honest first impressions of how the gun is handling and what's going on. And then we're going to come back here and we're going to close it out. All right, so meet me at the range. All right, y'all, we're here at the range. We got the Smith & Wesson 10 millimeter Performance Center. We're doing the first shots. Target is going to be at 5 yards all day long. I got 100 rounds here of silver and velvet, 180 grain 10 millimeter ammo, full metal jackets. So we're just going to try this thing out, see how it feels. I got the large back strap on there just so to let y'all know. All right, so let's get into this. So real quick, y'all, I gotta say, I like how the magazines load on this. They're steel magazines, just like all the Smith & Wesson magazines typically are. Feel smooth. I think this is gonna be a good shoot. 15 in 1 capacity for the M&P 10 millimeter, in case you weren't aware. I'm almost loaded up. So we're going to fly. Ooh. Had a little malfunction there. I think that was me. I think I might have limped it, but let's see. Gotta say, it's pretty slow. A little bit on the side, but I think that might be. All right, let's load up and go again. All right, y'all, we loaded up for round 2. 15 rounds. Target's at the same spot. Let's see if we get another hiccup on this gun. No hiccups, no bobbles. So far, so good. All right, y'all. Round 3. So far, like I said, I'm enjoying this. This isn't my first 10 millimeter, but right now, it's proving to be my favorite. Enough of that yik yak. Let's send it down range. But still a really good shoot though. Let's finish this box off. All right, y'all, last 20. Here we go. All right, y'all, let's take a look at that. So that was the last one. Pretty tight for the most part. It's a good shoot. I'm concerned about those two bobbles that I had. The slide did feel a little sluggish. Honestly, I think that was my shooting grip. But anyway, let's head back to the couch and close it out. All right, y'all, welcome back to the couch. So real quick, before we close things out, remember the tool that I was telling you about, this guy that you take out of the back strap of the gun? Well, one of the uses for this tool is, I don't know if you can see down in there. Let me see if I can shine some light in. So there's a yellow bar in there that you'll use that tool and rotate it in the down position. That's the sear disconnect tool. And the purpose for that is, when you rotate that tool down, you can essentially remove the slide without needing to pull the trigger. So that's why that's there. And if you want to rotate the sear disconnect back up, you can either use the tool to do it, or the easiest way to do that really is just to insert a magazine into the firearm and it'll rotate that tool back into its standard rest position. So I just wanted to touch on that because I did mention that I was going to talk about that really quick. So anyway, enough about that. My final thoughts. So as you can see, we had two bobbles on the range. I'm not sure if it was the ammunition, like if it was just the type. I was using, full metal jackets, and if you know about 10 millimeter, the front of the actual projectile itself is a little flat, like 40 Smith & Wesson, so it has a flat nose to it. I don't know if for whatever reason it didn't particularly care for those two projectiles. Maybe it got caught up on the feed ramp. Maybe I was making the slide sluggish with my grip. I'm not really sure, but two bobbles in 100 rounds is not the biggest deal, but I'm going to say that when it comes to any gun, it needs to be able to run and run reliably. So I say all that to say I'm going to have to run some more rounds through the gun just to see if the gun is still being broken in. Now, even though I did buy this gun used, when I first took it apart, to inspect and lubricate it just a little bit, I've noticed that the gun wasn't really shot a whole lot prior to my purchasing it. So it could very well still be within its breaking period. So just being fair, I'm just going to say it just needs to be broken in a little bit more. So I put 100 rounds to it. I'm going to do my best to hit 1,000 rounds, trying to get, 10 millimeter, 1,000 rounds of 10 millimeter isn't the cheapest thing to do, but I want to fully vet this gun out before I can give it my seal of approval. But so far, it feels good to shoot. It feels great in the hand. The trigger feels really good it's not stock, it's performance center, but you get the idea. It's not like one of those Gucci Apex triggers or anything like that. It's a good trigger. You get a lot of good features out of the box. And honestly, getting this thing new, I think the MSRP is around $699. Well, no, the MSRP is like $729, but I usually see it for like $699. And like I said, I picked this thing up used for way less than that. So the point is, it's not going to break the bank. It is so far, it looks like it's a good 10 millimeter for the money. But again, I'm going to vet that reliability out so that way I can let y'all know what it's hitting for. But anyway, I'm going to end things here. You know, definitely look out for the follow-up video to this coming down the road. I will absolutely do a follow-up of this review. And I also have a SIG X10 in 10 millimeter. So y'all know me with the versus videos. I got to do a versus between that and the SIG X10. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Also, one last thing, thank you to all my new subscribers who just recently subscribed to the channel, liking the videos, commenting on the videos, everything. Thank you to everybody else that's been around from day one. Y'all have no idea how much I really appreciate y'all watching these videos, man. You know, I really do. But anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching the videos. Please keep an eye out for more content coming from me. And as always, this is your big homie, the Armchair Operator, and I'm out, signing off.